Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Mohegan Sun and Pocono Downs harness racing. Joining us is the leading driver, Matt Kakaley. Well, Matt, it's been another fine season for you, not only at Pocono, but at other tracks across North America as well. But let's talk about, you have a great stable of horses that you're driving for with Ron Burke, and then, of course, you catch some other catch drives along the way. But it's been another very good year for you.
Yeah, it started off very well, and I'm off to a good start, and Pocono's been good, and I've been doing good everywhere else too. Just hopefully stay on this roll.
Well, Matt, so much competition anymore. Every track you go to, it seems, and it just keeps heating up and heating up. But at Pocono in particular this year, some of the Canadian drivers come down, and you get the mixture of other guys that are coming up. You got the up-and-comers, you got the veterans, you got Pierce and guys like that coming over. Every race seems like it's an ultimate battle.
Yeah, it's definitely top-notch driver colony. It's tough. It makes for good races, and it's good competition. But they're all good guys, and it makes it interesting. That's for sure.
Matt, let's go back and talk about how you got involved with harness racing, and talk about your family and how it all started for you. At what age were you kind of getting back behind a horse?
My grandparents owned a farm in Michigan, so I grew up on the farm there and around the horses and stuff, but I wasn't really involved with them until my parents and I moved to Florida when I was around 12. And, I started working with them a lot and started jogging them when I was like 15, 16, got a qualifying license, and, started driving down there. And, when I was in Florida, that's really when I, knew this is what I wanted to do.
We're talking with Matt Kakaley here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers, and he's a harness driver at Mohegan Sun and Pocono Downs, among other tracks like the Meadowlands and Yonkers, and down, of course, at Harrah's in Philadelphia as well. Matt, when you talk about getting that license in the beginning in Florida and racing for small races, who would have thunk years later, it's not that many years later, here you are racing in big races, and some of them six figures and maybe even beyond.
Yeah, this is just a dream come true. I never thought when I first started driving that I would be where I'm at. This early in my career, it's a dream come true, and it's just been a lot of support from a lot of great people. Obviously Ron Burke and his owners and his family, and but there's been a lot of other people to help me along the way, and it's definitely a dream come true.
Matt, how do you talk about that part of getting involved with Ron Burke and him having that trust in you, and of course you run it with. Of course, he uses Yannick Gingras as well, but you're kind of the guy. Whether you guys are a 1 or a 1A, you guys have that bond, and there's a trust factor, and you guys have done a real nice job.
Yeah, I drive a lot for him, and he's got to have faith in me, and I can't thank him enough, and he's given me great opportunities, and it's definitely a relationship that's helped me out, and it's great.
Matt, when you talk about what it takes to be a great harness driver, people talk about the hands. There's got to be some athletic instincts involved. You got to know your horse. There's a lot more than people just think you get behind it and you just got to go. I know there's one or two horses out there that you may be able to get behind and they just kind of breeze the whole way. But talk about the strategy. I mean, every race is a little bit different. Are you kind of calculating, thinking you're knowing some of the other horses, know maybe some of the other tendencies of what drivers may do?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely good to know your competition, the other horses and how the other guys drive, particular races. And, some guys are just mainly speed guys, and other guys, they might be a little more conservative or whatever. And, I'd like to think that I can adapt to the horse if it's a horse that loves the front. I like to think I can get him there, and if the horse needs a little bit more patient drive, I think I can just adapt either way, and it's been going good.
How do you keep track of the schedule, Matt? It's got to be more than just you saying, "Okay, I'm going to head over here tonight," or "I'm going there." I mean, you guys got to forecast where you're at. I'm sure, a couple weeks in advance of what night you're going to be wearing and what horses you're going to drive.
I, for the overnights during the winter and the early spring, it's usually just, for this year in particular, Yonkers, I was racing Monday, Thursday, Friday, and then Pocono, I was racing Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. But now that the stakes are coming up, and we got to go to Indiana, we got to go to Canada or New York, or we got to go all over. So we just got to communicate well with the trainers and know where the horses are going, and you got to pick and choose what horses you want to follow around and which ones you want to travel with. So it's not easy, but it's definitely the part of the game that you want to be doing, because that's where we're making the money, and that's how we make a lot of money, is driving the stakes.
Not too much vacation time, it seems, as a harness driver. There's always a season somewhere, and you guys are always busy. When you talk about the surface at Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs, most drivers say it's the best around. What is it about that 5/8 mile track that makes it fun to drive at?
It's more forgiving for the horses. They can make speed and they stay sound. It doesn't seem like it takes a toll on them like some of the other tracks. I don't know if it's the clay that's on the surface or what it is, but they go fast and they can hold up. So.
And Matt, when you talk about going from track to track and being able to have that family support, tell us what that's all about for you, because you need people that are on the same page and care about you and know that hey, you guys are in this together. How challenging is it to make that schedule work and make everything work out?
Yeah, you definitely need a support system. I got my girlfriend Annie Larrabee, and my parents are always there for me. And when you're having a rough night, you kind of need someone to talk to and kind of help you get through it, because the ups and downs of this business are pretty high and low, that's for sure. And people having good people in your corner, it makes you it keeps you stable. I'd say.
What's some of the best times you've had on the track, or some of the best horses you've driven? If you can think of some of the highlights in your young career here, you're in your early 20s, but I'm sure you've had a few highlights along the way with some big time horses, or your biggest race win so far.
The first stake race I ever won was with Foiled Again in Northfield, so that was just awesome to drive that horse and win a big race at my home track when I was, I think I was 21. It was just great. And then, the biggest win was probably this past weekend with All Bets Off at Yonkers in the Art Rooney. It was a $300,000 race, and that was probably the biggest thrill I've had so far.
Well, recent times, the thrills just keep getting bigger. You look at guys like Brian Sears, who kind of took his chance at the Meadows and went to the Meadowlands. Things really took off for him. A guy like Corey Callahan, things for him. You're kind of one of those guys as well that it just seems like your stock just keeps going up as a harness driver. Do you ever see yourself, saying, okay, I'm going to just head over to the Meadowlands, or has Mohegan Sun been so good to you in the area? Is that something that you feel like you may be there for a long time?
You know what? It used to be that the Meadowlands was where you needed to go to get the stake drives, and if you weren't there, you weren't getting the stake drives, and that's just how it was. But I don't think it's that way so much anymore. I mean, that's where we all want to end up driving at full time, bases of the Meadowlands. It's the mecca of our game. But for right now, if I can just stay here and pick up stake horses and follow them around in the summertime, and I love it up here in Wilkes-Barre and stuff, and I love the area, and I love the track, and I think they do everything right there. And like I said, if I can still pick up the stakes drives and just stay here, I'd like to do that. But like I said too, the Mecca, the Meadowlands, that's where we all want to be. So I don't know.
Well, Matt Kakaley has really been impressive the last several years at Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs, but he's also been impressive at other tracks, as he mentioned, winning at Yonkers over the weekend in that big Rooney race, and of course what he's done at Harrah's down in Philadelphia as well, or Yonkers, Meadowlands, you name it. He's done it all over, and just keeps getting better each and every week. Well, Matt, we appreciate your time. We wish you well. Stake season upon us, and have a great summer.
Thank you.
That's Matt Kakaley from Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs, a top harness driver, here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.